strapless rowing. Why do you do it and what do you use it for, all right? So there's two big reasons why you do strapless rowing. The first of them is technique, because it's really hard to row with your feet out of the straps or the straps really loose if you have a bad technique, because it's really hard to get to the front of the machine again. And I'll show you all of this in a minute. The other one is if you're doing something like HYROX, which is about getting onto the machine and back out again as quick as possible. You don't want to be sitting down, spending 10 seconds faffing with your straps, getting yourself in and out, and then kind of going off again. You want to save as much time as possible, and depending on how you row in HYROX, then strapless rowing might work perfectly for you, okay? So first up, strapless rowing, how do you do it, and what's its effect on your technique? How do you do it? Well, it's pretty simple, really. You just put your feet on the foot plates and they're not in the straps. But actually, if you've never done this before, this is what I want you to do. Put your feet into the straps, put your thumbs to the outside of the buckle, flick your toes up as far as they will go, and now the strap is quite far off your feet, so effectively you're rowing strapless. But if it all goes wrong, and you go flying off the back, you can flick your toes and you can catch yourself rather than falling into the treadmill or person behind you. Nobody wants that, okay? So if you've never done it before, loose straps, not strapless. That's your kind of warning for this one, all right? But I'm a pro, so I'm gonna take my feet completely out of the straps. How do you row strapless? Well, you kind of row. But the point here is that technique-wise, everything has to go into the flywheel. You don't want any momentum sending you backwards. So you drive your legs into the machine, you swing your back over your body, you pull the handle into your chest, and then you point your toes to the front of the machine with your legs down. And that should mean that all of the power and momentum's going into the machine through the chain rather than sending you backwards. And that's the point of this. So if I push with the legs, swing with the back, come to a finish. Remember, feet are out. This is not camera trickery. So where am I? 24 strokes a minute, 151 pace, 150 pace, rowing strapless. But it's because as I'm coming in here, all of the momentum has gone into the machine and it's not sending me backwards. I'm using my core to soak up any last little bit of momentum that's happening, and because my legs are down and my feet are pointing towards the front of the machine, it means that I'm not kind of still pushing back with my legs at that point. The leg push has been completed. And so that's the point of why you row strapless, is because it means that you're getting all of your power into the machine. It means that you have to tidy up that posture at the back of the machine. It means that for the recovery, you have to go arms away, forwards tilt, then knees bend, because otherwise, if you finish here and you're the kind of person that pulls on the straps to get yourself forwards again, you're like, I'm stuck, I'm beached, how do I get forwards? And so when you get to the back, arms away, forwards tilt, knees, your momentum of your upper body is taking you forwards so that the knee bend just activates the slide. And what that means is that the recovery to the front of the machine is almost a zero energy part of your stroke. It's only really the hands, these kind of actions. You're not tugging yourself forward with all of your your leg muscles. So that's kind of how you row. But what I'll show you is why you do it. So this is the point. This is the point of strapless rowing. This is what you're trying to undo. And it's mostly people who tug themselves forwards with the strap. It's not actually about stopping yourself at the back, although you don't want to put all the momentum into the machine, but it's about people who tug, and you can see my knees are popping up because I'm tugging, and therefore I'm not able to get into that forwards tilt because my posture is now ruined by me tugging myself forwards on the foot straps. So instead of getting into that forwards tilt at the front, I'm constantly leaning backwards. And so in order to get into that forwards tilt, I'm suddenly on a roller coaster journey. And it's exhausting, it must be said. Stop. I mean, so that was what, 26 strokes a minute, 153 pace. And that was a lot harder than strapless 24 strokes a minute, 150 pace, because I'm lurching all over the place from tugging on the foot straps. So that collapsing of the posture. And the thing is, you might not actually know whether you're that kind of person that tugs on the foot straps or not. So what I'd say is when you're rowing, look and see if your knees are coming up and you're having to throw the handle over your knees. If you notice you're doing that, then I really do recommend doing the strapless rowing for a while, okay? So let's just That was quick. Yeah. And then this will help you slow it right down in order so you don't fall off the back of the machine. And then you get the legs down, handle away, body rock, and knees forwards. So primarily, that's what's going on with the strapless rowing, is it's stopping you from tugging your feet, which then ruins your posture, ruins your sequence of the handle away, body rock into the front, and it's also more exhausting, okay? So that's the how do you get out the straps, how do you row strapless, and why do you do this? So the next thing is HYROX. Right then, so whether you row a HYROX 1K in or out of the straps, to me is entirely dependent on what kind of athlete you are and the stroke rate that you're going to be rowing at. Take me for example, okay? So my 1 kilometer time trial, I will row at round about 38 strokes a minute, and it will take me round about 3 minutes 10 to cover, okay? So really high stroke rate, but for me anyway, quite fast. On the HYROX race floor, because of everything that's come before it, and especially those burpee broad jumps, I am absolutely gubbed by the time I sit on the rowing machine. And so when I sit here, there's no way I'm gonna row at 310 pace at 38 strokes a minute. I back it right down to round about kind of 350 for the 1K, even like 355 for the 1K in HYROX. And I'll also row down at around about 24 strokes a minute to do it. And that means, like I just said in the first half of this, that is something that I can do with my feet out of the straps. 24 strokes a minute, 150 pace as a start, and then kind of backing off or kind of the other way around. That's perfectly fine for me, all right? And that's me done. And I'm also not wasting time getting my feet in and out of the straps, because you come running in and you get your feet in, all right? So you're like, right, strap, or the last guy didn't make it loose enough, right? Here we go, strap it, hurrah, okay? Versus just kind of running in and going run, 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 slap, slap, row, okay? So if you can row out of the straps, then you are gonna save time when it comes to getting your feet in and out of them. There is also the fact that if you're rowing with your feet out the straps, like I showed in the first half of this video, you have to do it the better technique. And by having a better technique, chances are you're gonna be putting the power into the machine a bit more powerfully and a bit more efficiently compared to if you had a rubbish technique, okay? That's kind of a bit of a ballpark, kind of a global way to talk about it, but if you've got a better technique, chances are you're gonna be a bit more efficient. The downside to this is when you get up to the higher stroke rates, okay? So once I get above like 28 strokes a minute, for me anyway, it becomes really difficult to be able to row with my feet out the straps. I kind of need to just have that little bit of security, not to tug myself forwards, but mostly this is that I just can't quite get all the momentum into the machine, so maybe it's my kind of ability as a rower, who knows? So I do put my feet back in the straps if I'm rowing faster. But because I'm down at that lower kind of recovery pace, let's call it, for my HYROX, I'm quite happy with my feet out the straps. And so that brings me on to the people who do row at a high stroke rate and with lots of power. So say you're someone like Hunter or Meg Jacoby, hi Meg, rowing at a higher stroke rate, you might want to make sure you're in the straps in order to get all of that power into the machine. And frankly, you're so strong anyway, it doesn't really matter. You're not going to be losing anything by rowing with your feet in the straps and having a slight stop at the back of the machine. What probably is going to unravel your rowing is if for the first time you think, you know what, today I'm going to try rowing out the straps, and you try to row at like 32 strokes a minute with your feet out the straps and you fall off the back of the machine because it's something you've never done before. So what I'd say is that if you're the kind of person that says, actually, I do get the fact that my technique will improve if I'm rowing out of the straps, I might give that a try. Do it in training first, please. Go out, do a run, sit down on the machine, and try and row at the pace that you would normally row at in a HYROX with your feet out the straps and see what happens. Bearing in mind you might want to do that kind of loose strap thing first, just in case you fall off the back of the machine. But I do think that that's the two kind of camps here, is that if you are a fast, powerful, high stroke rate athlete in HYROX, you're going to want to have your feet in the straps, and there's a good chance that if you didn't, you'd lose quite a lot of time. You'd lose more time at least than you would save by getting your feet in and out the straps. Oh, that's a good test though, let me know. Do it yourself, let me know what happens. And then of course the other people is the HYROX doubles. If you're doing a doubles race, then maybe you want to go strapless as well, because it's just quicker for the transitions. But if you're someone like me who actually kind of slows the stroke rate down to use the row as a way to kind of like just balance yourself off for the race, race to come, which is something I never thought I'd say before, but anyway, then maybe strapless rowing is for you because it will help tidy up your technique. I do hope that this video helped. Let me know if it did. Let me know if you've ever tried strapless rowing before. Let me know if you do try strapless rowing and how you get on with it. Did you fall off the machine? I really hope not. And if you are in the middle of a HYROX and you do row with your feet out the straps, let me know how you get on. All right, thank you so much for watching this video. Until the next one, please look after yourselves. Take care. Be well. Bye-bye.